Camille is one of the best and most consistent champions in the game to play and main. She very rarely gets nerfed and is in meta or at least playable since she was released. With that being said, let's get into the guide for Camille, and there are timestamps below. Camille's passive is Adaptive Defenses. Her next attack will shield her for 20% of her maximum HP in either a physical or magic damage shield for 2 seconds depending on the enemy she attacked. This ability is Camille's most basic ability, and the only thing to think about is that your cooldown is based on your level and that it won't be as effective against split damage champions such as Shen. Precision Protocol is Camille's Q. Her next basic attack will have extra range, deals additional damage, and grants movement speed for the next 1 second. It can also be recast again in the next 3.5 seconds. If you wait 1.5 seconds, the cast will have increased damage and deal true damage. This is how Camille puts out such crazy damage. The ratio for her true damage can scale up to 100%, which is insane scaling and keeps her relevant throughout the game. One thing to note is this ability will reset auto attack timers. So for maximum damage output, you're going to want to auto attack, then press your Q, then auto attack normally again, before activating your second Q to have a burst of true damage. Camille's W is Tactical Sweep. After a brief delay, Camille deals damage in front of her in a cone shape. However, if you hit an enemy with the outer half of the cone, it will deal maximum health damage and slow for 80%, decaying over 2 seconds. If the bonus damage is dealt to champions, it will also heal Camille. Use this ability to harass your enemy and heal yourself in lane, or to catch enemies trying to escape with its slow. The usefulness of the damage drops off a lot later into the game, so avoid using it when you can auto attack the enemy. This ability will also not be stopped by crowd control. If you casted it, it will always do the damage. Camille's E is Hookshot. She fires out a grapple which will attach to any wall and bring her towards it. She attaches to the wall for 0.75 seconds, where she can recast her E to use Wall Dive. Camille dashes to a target location, deals damage, and will stun for 0.75 seconds. The range for this part is doubled going towards enemy champions. Additionally, if she collides with an enemy champion, she will gain bonus attack speed. This is one of, if not the best mobility spell in the game. It makes it essentially impossible to catch or escape from Camille when she has this up. Wall Dive can be used over walls, as well as making her even harder to catch and get away from. Once Hookshot is casted, it can't be interrupted by crowd control. The second part will be cancelled if the stun lasts that long, however. This ability will also be carried by Flash. Think about it in the same way as Gragas Flashy or Shen Flashy. Also, Yasuo can ult off this ability. Camille's ultimate is Hextech Ultimatum. Camille becomes untargetable and leaps toward an enemy champion, creating a hexagonal zone around them and knocking away other enemy champions. The enemy can move freely in the zone but cannot leave the zone. Camille's basic attacks will also deal bonus max health magic damage to whoever the target is. This ability ensures that nobody can get away from Camille. If you leave the zone or get knocked out of the zone will disintegrate, so you should be careful when near champions like Alistar and Tristana. This ability will follow an enemy dashing away, which makes timing for this ability crucial. The keystones on Camille you want to take are either Press the Attack or Arcane Comet. Press the Attack is always taken on jungle, with Domination, Inspiration, or Sorcery taken second depending on preference. For top lane, it's either Arcane Comet with Inspiration or Resolve, or you take Press the Attack with Resolve or Sorcery. This is all matchup dependent, but taking Comet against harder lanes is advisable, while taking Press the Attack against lanes you'll know you do well against is a good idea. Some people may want to take Conquer on Camille, but it's just inferior to Press the Attack, as her combo will nearly be finished by the time the Conqueror activates. For summoners, take Flash and Teleport for top lane, and for jungle, take Flash and Smite. Now let's talk about builds for Camille, starting with top lane. There are 3 viable starting items: Doran's Blade, Doran's Shield, and Corrupting Potion. 99% of the time I will rush Tiamat into Sheen and then the rest of my Trinity Force. There are very fringe scenarios where I intend to freeze on the enemy laner and I don't buy Tiamat until after my Trinity. However, that's scenario specific. I will then finish my Tiamat item. Ravenous Hydra gives you more damage and better split pushing and allows for certain animation cancels. However, Titanic is better for team fighting and also safer. I nearly always go Ravenous top lane, but it's a personal preference. My next item, generally speaking, is Sterax, followed by a Guardian Angel, although the order of these are interchangeable. Last item can be anything, but usually I'll have Mercurial Scimitar, but Maw, tank items, or anything else is really viable. For jungle, you want to start with Hunter's Machete. After that, you want to go into Skirmisher's Saber with the Warrior attachment. Some people like rushing Tiamat first on Camille jungle, but with the current state of the meta, less people are favoring doing this, as it delays your power spike a lot. However, it makes your clear on certain camps much faster. Trinity Forces follow next, with Sterex and Guardian's Angel afterwards. Titanic Hydra should be your Hydra item of choice in the jungle, as you will fulfill more of an engaged diver role in the jungle, in addition to it being more difficult to split as a jungler. The build for jungle is more of a general guideline rather than do this every game. The build order can be switched up in pretty much any order that suits, as well as extra tank items like Randuin's Omen and Spirit Visage being added to replace certain items. Boots are either Ninja Tabby or Mercs depending on the enemy team comp. Alright, let's put that all together and talk about some combos you can do on Camille. While using your hook shot, you're able to activate your W during it, giving you an extra amount of range to slow enemies and possibly ult them afterwards. For your full damage combo, you want to land your E, auto, Q, auto, then R, bonus points if you dodge a spell during the R, then auto Tiamat second Q. You can include or leave out extra autos based on the situation, but usually this is how the full combo will go. Let's talk about jungle pathing for a bit. LOL Skillcapped has a great video about pathing in the current meta, which I will link down below, but the most important thing about jungle pathing on Camille is to make sure to make use of her ability to level 2 gank. It's ultra important and very difficult to deal with, especially at level 2. You should also have red buff and will have lots of different options for your first gank, which will help get you rolling in the early game. For lane, you want to look to poke out with W harass and look for short burst trades until you can comfortably all in with your E. You also set up ganks extremely well. Having your jungler around is always advisable, especially with the more snowbally matchups. You're also great at roaming around the map and ganking other lanes or helping your jungler invade with your extreme mobility and pick potential. Camille is strong throughout all points in the game, with her mobility being the biggest factor in her strength. Your biggest power spikes are at 1 to 2 items. Acquiring Trinity Force is a huge burst in your strength and gives Camille nearly everything she needs. When you then have a Ravenous Hydra, you will now be level 13, being able to one-shot people with your full combo with ease. You now have everything you need from Trinity Force and the damage, healing and wave clear provided by Hydra to put out insane damage. You scale well into the late game, getting tankier but still being able to one-shot people. Your pick potential is also what you want to rely on later into the game as well. You can catch people unaware with your chase and lockdown and have your team burst someone down. Isolating targets and splitting off fights is what you're best at, as your ability to one-shot someone, knock enemies away and get out is stellar, especially on priority targets. Wait for your opportunity and leap onto your targets. They won't know what's coming. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. So, let's do some of the boring outro stuff. You can follow Phelan Gaming at Phelan Gaming on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at HeyGuysIt'sMoo. If you use the code PHL when buying a GT Omega chair, you get 5% off, so that's pretty cool. We also have a Facebook. I think we have a Reddit coming up. And yeah, I think we also have a clothing gear brand deal, which will be in the description. So, until the next Phelan video, I'll see you guys later.